Next we shall fit the power supply. If the CPU is the brain of the computer, then the power supply is the muscle. We should not underestimate what the power supply contributes to the overall effect of the computer. It can affect the performance, the sound and video if it is underrated. The one we see here is a WinPower ATX 650. ATX is the dimensions of the unit. We can compare this to S for small, L for large and XL for extra large. 650 is the wattage. Both these factors are very important, since if you try to fit this power supply to an ATA case, it may not fit. And if you replace the 650 watt power supply with one that was rated at 450, then it is possible it would burn out. At the side of the unit we can see the power ratings and a voltage output. On the rear of the power supply you will find the mains power socket, sometimes referred to as a kettle power socket. Some but not all power supplies have a main switch. When the 0 is depressed, then the power is switched off. When the I is depressed, then it is switched back on. Check that it is switched off before continuing. Because of the heat that is generated by the power supply, it needs to be cooled, and so almost all power supplies have an internal fan. Some of the cheaper power supplies rely on a Bush type of fan. This power supply has a bearing fitted to the fan. That makes it extremely quiet. An important issue, for example, if the computer is to be used in a sound studio. The power connectors on the power supply vary. In this instance it has 6 Molex plugs. Molex is a name given to the 4-pin plug that can be seen here. Notice its shape. A Burge plug is normally used for the floppy disk drive. This is the motherboard power connector. In this example it is a 24-pin plug that has a clip on one side. It also has a unique shape. There are 2 SATA connectors. SATA or serial ATA is a type of serial and specification that we shall be looking at later. This power supply has a separate power connector for the CPU. With this power supply there are 4 screws. To fit the power supply, remove the top cover. And then the 2 side panels. Check that the power supply has the fan at the bottom, then drop it into position. Check alignment, then screw in the 4 retaining screws. In this video we have had a brief look at the power supply. There are many other factors to take into consideration, such as single or multi-rail power supplies, power factors and power adapters. All this is covered at the website www.candoit.co.uk, where you can gain a BTEC qualification in computer engineering.